Hello and welcome to another episode of the Full Force Weekly, brought to you by Generals Joe's REBORN.com with me as your host, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostik80. For today's episode, I'm joined by the awesome Patrick Notpicard Stewart. In this regular video series, we round up all the week's news in the world of G.I. Joe. What is it, Pat?
It's a Full Force Weekly!
Amazing. That scared the crap out of me. Welcome to the Full Force Weekly. We're in another week. Pat, another week has gone by. How you doing, buddy?
Doing okay. You know, another week has gone by. I got through another one. That's
what it feels like, doesn't it? Just checking them off at this point. Hello, everyone in the chat already. Figure Six Pack, Finn, Pastor Pierogi, Paul, Nictimus, Matthew, Luke, Jeffrey, hello. Hope everyone's doing well this morning. Few things to let you guys know about. One thing that's just dawned on me as well, Pat, is that there's another video I forgot to do. Typical. So, quick sort of situation. Had a bit of a technical error yesterday. My mic cable broke when trying to record the monthly yesterday, or just before we recorded the monthly. So I tried to order a new one, and Amazon said, "Hey, we can get it for you that day." I was like, "What? That's crazy! I haven't told you about this, Pat, didn't I?" They were going to deliver like between, I think they said any time before 9 p.m. it would be there. I was like, "Okay, that's cool." Might be able to do some last minute video stuff, whatever. That's great. In any case, 9 p.m. came along, no sign of it. They said it was out for delivery, never got to my place. The little icon said that the car was right next to where I lived, never got delivered. So unfortunately, couldn't get any videos done. So there are no videos in this particular thing because I couldn't record my vocals because my mic cable was broken. So we're just going to be going like hardcore through everything today. But I don't have a buffer video for what we're going to do here going into the first news segment. So there's going to be some faffing around, basically. What I might do is half play that other video that's got an explosion at the beginning of it. That might work. But anyway, microphone's knackered, or the mic cable is. So as soon as I get that sorted out, we'll be back at the races. But today, Pat and I are just going to be literally no videos, just going into the next thing one after the other. Is everyone okay with that? Are you okay with that, Pat?
Yeah, that's normally where I do this.
You're just gonna have to
You'll be seeing some of that today.
Yeah, a lot of that today. You should do that when I'm doing the fake video vocal, like when I'm talking through the video that would have been a video.
Sometimes I yawn too.
Oh yeah, mate.
It's the early morning for me.
No, that's got nothing to do with it. What the problem is listening to my voice so long, isn't it? That it just sends you to sleep each time. In any case, I'm going to try this is going to be a little practice, but we're going to play the outro, but I'm going to stop it before it becomes the outro, if that makes any sense to everybody. This will hopefully be enough time to switch visuals as well. So let's see if this works. Is everybody ready? Are you ready, Pat?
Yeah.
Here we go. Make sure that worked. Obviously, you heard me go. Yeah. You're drinking in the middle of it, though. That was just hilarious.
Just to be funny.
Good start to the show. I'm like, now this has turned into like guerrilla warfare now, isn't it? Like I'm like literally piecing things I'm just grabbing stuff from the side to make a video. That's what's going to happen from now on. Anyway, so first up, we have Icon Heroes. Now, they dropped a few new pieces of merchandise in the week. First up were a set of pin badges featuring the vintage card art. Set 1 features the iconic Cobra characters, Cobra Commander, Storm Shadow, Major Blood, Destro, and the Baroness. The set is $16.50 with an estimated shipping date of September the 1st to the 4th. As well as the pins, Icon Heroes also revealed a brand new G.I. Joe gaming mouse pad with its sleek design inspired by the iconic G.I. Joe classified characters. This mouse pad will not only level up your gameplay, but also add a touch of style to your gaming setup. The 36 by 18 inch pad will cost you $38 and is estimated to ship between the 4th and 11th of September. Links in the description for anyone who wants any of these products, as always. First up, Pat, let's have a look at that gamer pad. I actually quite like this for my desk. I'm thinking about this genuinely thinking about this as a thing for my setup on my desk because it looks kind of cool.
Yeah, you know, I actually saw it and thought, man, that would be nice to have at my desk, at work.
It's totally neat, isn't it?
Yeah, and it makes you wonder if I've just missed out on an entire industry of desk pads. Like, you know, mouse pads used to be a thing, and then I felt like I didn't really need them much anymore. But an entire pad underneath my entire desk area—that's something else. I think that could be pretty cool.
There's more images on the website, but it's like a roll-up kind of scenario, and it's got stitching on it, and it's got like a nice rubber, like non-friction, like a friction pad at the bottom, so it doesn't move anywhere, and it looks like really fancy. So I kind of definitely want to grab one of these, and also it's that really awesome kind of like early classified artwork that I always thought was really, really spectacular at the time.
It does look really good. It has a very G.I. Joe feel to it.
Yeah,
with this classified art.
That's nice, isn't it? What else are people saying? Well, lots of comments in the wow. How have I missed all of these? Morning to everyone that's jumped on, of course. Who else? What were we saying? Jeffrey says Spider-Wolf backstory, the who, what, and wheres. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Obviously, he's a wolf who got bit by a radioactive spider, says Ed. That would be Spider-Wolf you're thinking of, Ed. That's completely different. Spider-Wolf does whatever a Spider-Wolf can. That's what you're thinking about there, mate. It's an easy mistake to make, though, isn't it, Pat?
Sure, it's one I've made before.
Yeah, okay, we'll get to that stuff. Talking Joe, aka Mark, says $38 for a mouse mat. That must be a heck of a markup. That is quite an expensive price. But I will say, though, that Icon Heroes do a lot of sales and like money off and all that kind of stuff if you like leave it a little bit. But that's up to you, of course. But it is a desk pad. Oh, there you go. You said, oh, a desk pad, not a mouse mat. Yeah, it's pretty much your entire day. This thing's like 36, what did I say? 36 by 18 inches.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good size.
That's massive. Yeah. That's the size of a small child. Where do you always find these obscure products? Adam, hardly. This is literally on my feed. Like it's not obscure at all. Like Icon Heroes will pop up. There's so many licenses. Well, this is what happens, right? This is the process I go through. Company, insert company name here, acquires G.I. Joe license. I insert my name here. Follow all social networks for said company in order to make sure that I see the new stuff that comes up. That's how it is. That's how I do it. I had a giant wolf spider in my place once. It was him or me. I took it out with a slipper. I hope he has a better backstory than that, says Pastor Pierogi. Oh, that's crazy. Nictimus Prime, this is a good shout, actually. I hope when Hasbro goes back to plastic packaging, we can get some new artwork like on the back, like this on the back again. That was always an exciting time, wasn't it, when a new classified kind of wave came out, because it would be like, ooh, what can we see on the box art? What's new? What have 80s tees accidentally revealed by accident? That sort of thing. Would you want to see more of that kind of like collage sort of artwork, Pat? Or what are your hopes for the packaging?
Yeah, it kind of became a little bit of an unofficial cross-sell in some ways. Yep. And I think that we're a little bit missing that on packages these days. I've noticed that a lot of Hasbro figures really only have a cross-sell if they are a Build-A-Figure. And then it's, just that wave of
That's figures. A good point, yeah. Marvel Legends always have that, don't they? That kind of like just the kind of torso and head kind of images like.
But lately they haven't had it unless there's a Build-A-Figure.
Interesting. That is, yeah. It's almost like, yeah, I suppose like even though they are coming in waves, they're not being distributed in a wave, are they? It's like they all come out at different random times, and you might get two at once if you're lucky. Yeah, it is weird. So maybe that's got something to do with that. And like you say, with the Build-A-Figure, it's to allow you to kind of make sure you've got all the figures in order to create the Build-A-Figure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, so that you know which one comes with which without having to look.
Yeah, anyway,
Online.
I like this. Really nice. Also, pins. So you got the classic artwork, your kind of Hector Garrido style vintage artwork on the explosion background. Pins. Any interest here, Pat? Or are you not a pin guy?
I do like pins. I actually bought a thing where I could make my own. So I probably would not just buy these, but they look better than what I can make on my own. So there's that. They look to be made, what are those? Maybe like a 1.5 inch diameter?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, which is pretty good size.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, they're cute. They are. The thing is, like, I don't know about you, but I think there is a definite fatigue with the constant reuse of this classic artwork for everything. Because, like, how many times have we seen this on every single bit of merchandise in the last however many years? It just seems to be like they don't do anything different with the license that they're given. It's really, I feel like with Icon Heroes, they just apply the materials they're given from Hasbro to the products they already produce, if that makes sense. So you've got like your mouse pads and your, you know, your other little bits and pieces, but there's not really like, other than the bobbleheads, because I believe they're Icon Heroes, they're not really doing anything necessarily different with that, you know, license. And I like the thought of maybe having pins where they put and like infuse some of their own like design and creativity into it to create something different and new. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. I kind of felt that was kind of, I think we talked about that a little bit when those Roosevelt shirts came up.
Yeah.
And it turned out that some of that stuff, it looked like maybe Hasbro had prepared it, but the artwork, at least in that, looked a little more customized to the product.
Yeah.
Whereas this really does look like get the picture, make the pin, which, I mean, I could make something relatively similar to this for a decent, you know, a decent savings for myself.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. Ed says he prefers enamel pins over buttons. Yeah, the enamel ones, that's where it's like,
yeah,
that's where I think, you know, I prefer those because you can get into a little bit more, you know, more creativity with it. You can, you know, they effectively Icon Heroes have done the enamel pins that are the artwork, but you know, just on the figure, like, you know, on like an enamel pin. Whereas this is like some of the artwork squeezed onto the pin badge. So yeah, like I definitely agree with that. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Anyway, that's Icon Heroes. Imagine an explosion in another video, guys. Maybe I should just keep doing the. Maybe I should just keep doing this, Pat. Where is it? I've lost it anyway. I'll just keep doing this every transition. Oh, that was perfectly timed. That was.
You said make though.
Oh, did it come out? I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that.
I heard it.
Oh, I thought I'd perfectly timed that. Anyway, I love our new guerrilla warfare style of editing. Are you guys enjoying it? Are you guys enjoying this guerrilla warfare style video thing? Anyway, let's talk Renegade Game Studios. They revealed more details and images for their upcoming deck building game expansion, Raise the Flag. The game will feature a new campaign mode which evolves based on your decisions and the outcomes of your missions. It also comes with a giant constructible USS Flag aircraft carrier that will acquire upgrades as the game progresses. The set also includes secret envelopes and surprises. You can pre-order the expansion using the link in the description below. I got really excited when they revealed that they were doing this because it's such a fun idea. It's such a neat way of doing something on a large scale, but because it's of the, you know, the medium we're dealing with, you can collapse it down into a really small box size. So I love the fact they're doing this.
Yeah, this is really cool. I think that the experience of sitting around a table playing the card game would be definitely enhanced by having this sitting in front of you.
Yeah, we finally got a flag, guys. This is classified scale as well. It's not really, it's not that big. Anyway, we've got, obviously this is the deck building game, Raise the Flag. It's a campaign expansion for the deck building game. You can pre-order it now. Lovely bit of artwork there as well. I quite like that. And then, of course, you've got some information as well. So, are you looking at some comments there, Pat? So you grinning?
No, I was just thinking about how it kind of gives double meaning to the deck building game.
Oh, that's so genius! I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about that. You're literally building it. Oh, wow. I did not notice. I'm an idiot. Anyway, Raise the Flag introduces a brand new campaign mode to the G.I. Joe deck building game. Over several episodes, the stakes will be raised as your decisions, successes, and failures will compound to create your own narrative for the G.I. Joe team. Keep track of your progress in the campaign log and carefully choose how to equip the USS Flag as you confront Cobra Commander and his lackeys. There's kind of like a basic breakdown of the tower, the deck, and then the and then the grundle. We'll call it the grundle. Pat is really smart, Pastor Pierogi, 100%. I'll put that on the screen so that it's locked in.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. Don't say I never do anything for you, Pat. Next. Features new campaign mode, evolves based on your decisions and the outcomes of the missions. As I said before, giant constructible aircraft carrier that will acquire upgrades as the campaign progresses. I don't think there is a there's dimensions on there yet. Am I wrong in that? I want to say that don't think I've seen the dimensions. I'm going to do a quick check because obviously this is available for pre-order now.
Yeah, I actually haven't checked on that either. I was kind of wondering that, but looking at all the stuff on there, I would assume that those are relatively large cards. I
Yes.
can imagine how big those are, but I could also be wrong.
I'm going to quickly find it. This is great for radio. This is, isn't it? Here we go. Campaign expansion. I just want to see if there is any information on the size of the flag. I don't know why I didn't check that initially because that's something I wanted to know about anyway. Okay. Constructible USS Flag and 2 constructible Sky Strikers. That's cool as well. The Sky Strikers are pretty neat. It doesn't say. There's no sizes. Oh, this is fun. It says 6 sealed campaign envelopes, and you're not supposed to open them. Because obviously that'll be when you get, to that point in the game when you're told to, unseal the mission sort of thing. God, this sounds fun.
Yeah, that does sound fun.
That's kind of like, what movie was it or a TV show where the pilot is given he's in a stealth bomber. He's given a envelope and he says you have to open it when you're at these coordinates kind of thing. So he has to open it when he's flying over and then he reads the mission and it's like, you drop in a tactical nuke or something. I can't remember what that's from, but that's kind of what that reminds me of. It's like you're in the middle of the game and you're given this envelope and it's like, oh, sugar, here we go.
Was it Stealth? Was that the movie?
I don't know.
Now you're making me wonder what that is, and I'll have to figure it out.
Was it Mission Impossible, Jeffrey? It might have been, actually. It might have been. But it
might have been one of them.
One of the old ones, yeah, because this is a memory I had from ages ago. He's given an envelope and he has to open it over the, a certain place when he's in the air or something. But yeah, that's wicked. Yeah, I really like this. I definitely want to try and pick this up. That is available, obviously, like I said, on. It happens in multiple issues of A Real American Hero as well. Maybe that's what I was thinking of, Mark. Maybe I was thinking about that was it in that, not recent, but maybe like recent years, there was a Real American Hero issue where it was all about there were Cobra Hurricanes and there were X-30s and all sorts. It was all aircraft based. It was like a special missions almost. And I remember a Techno Viper being in charge of an MMS as well in that, which is interesting considering we've had a classified reveal of a Techno Viper with an MMS as well. Weird what sticks in my head and what I forget. Yeah, cool. Okay. It really doesn't say anything about how big the flag is yet. And maybe that's something that's in development, I would suggest possibly. Maybe they're still working that out.
Maybe. It looks pretty finished though, I would think.
Yeah,
This looks pretty close to the finished thing.
I'd like
I
to
don't
know.
know. I just picture putting this in a box. The sides of it look kind of sturdy to me. The deck looks sturdy.
Yeah,
Everything looks good. I would imagine it's just a larger size box and maybe some parts fold.
definitely.
Um,
I think this is really fun, and I think this is a really cool idea. And like you said, it kind of adds to that sitting around a table. You know, you're literally sitting around the flag, which is also a table in this sense. But there's something really fun about this, and like when you can, I like playing games, like I like playing the games, but to have something visual there to kind of work
mhm.
with, to kind of gauge progress or just a bit of fun, this is like the epitome of that. This is like the next level of that. Broken Arrow, yes, yes, because John Travolta was in it. Jeffrey, yes, I think that's the one I'm thinking
I
of.
think you're right. I think it is Broken Arrow.
Thank you, Nostalgia JT, for saying Broken Arrow. Yeah, Jeffrey Smith said it. Yeah, it's Broken Arrow. That's exactly that thing I was thinking of at that moment. Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. I'm glad we crowdfunded that scenario. Brilliant stuff. There wasn't an envelope in that particular issue, says Diana. So I was, that was. I was just thinking of that as a cool comic. In all honesty, right then, that's Renegade Game Studios. Like I said, that is actually $45, by the way, in for pre-order. And like I said, you can go in the link below to pre-order that bad boy. I think this one's going to be a pretty popular choice, honestly, because I think it's probably the only time we're going to get a flag in anything. I'm surprised we never got a flag in some of the fun little mini vehicle lines like Jada and stuff. That would have been great, wouldn't it?
Yeah. What was the last flag? Wasn't there a Monopoly that had a little flag in it?
I wasn't aware there was a flag in it because I've never opened my Monopoly,
I
but
thought there was.
that must be. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. Oh damn! Zoran the Barbarian says, "Hi, Full Force Gang. Great news. GameStop got my Desert Snake Eyes and Snow Serpent yesterday. Whoop whoop! Amazing
Wow.
stuff. That's cool. I think my Desert Snake Eyes is on the water as we speak, just floating." Just fell out of the thing and is just floating around. I might get it at some point in the future if I'm deserted on a desert island somewhere. Right then, next up then, in terms of news, I've completely forgotten what is next up in terms of news. What is next up in terms of
Super
news?
7.
Super 7 news. Yeah, okay. Right, well, let's get into some Super 7 stuff then, shall we? Did I say make at that point?
You did, yeah.
I'm not hearing. I'm cutting off, and it's perfect. Anyway, Super 7. We've got a reaction teaser in the week. They clearly thought enough time had passed since the last rollout of reaction product, and dropped a teaser for Wave 7. This is Wave 7 now. BBTS released listings for the Wave way back in May the 25th to be exact. And Buzzer is the first to be seen, courtesy of the teaser image posted in the week. They also noted that the Wave would be revealed next week, so expect a live news burst at some point in the near future. Of course, you know how it is. Now, Pat, first and foremost, this is part of these listings. So we've got the Funhouse Cobra Commander robot figure, which Brian has talked to us about in the last interview. We talked about these particular listings, and he was fairly just like, he acknowledged them, shall we say. But like the Funhouse robot sounds like it's going to be a completely new mold. It's not going to be like Cobra Commander repainted. So this is going to be very much like, sculpted details and stuff in it as well. So a different mold completely for the Funhouse robot, which I'm kind of glad to hear that, honestly.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely glad to hear that. That it sounds like it could be a fun figure. And honestly, that's the kind of thing that the regular criticism of reaction is that they're 5 POA. But as a kid, I would use some adventure people here and there to fill in temporary roles in my GI Joes. So while yes, I would prefer O-Ring, the fact that they are putting these figures out there in any fashion, I think is a fun thing, and I'm glad to be able to get that.
And
It's better than my Adventure People stand-in for the Funhouse robot.
You have quite the collection of reaction figures, don't you?
I don't have all of them yet.
Which ones don't you have? What's easier? Is it easier to say what you do have, or is it easier to say what you don't have?
It's easier to just say I probably have somewhere around half or more than half of them.
Okay, that's not bad though. Not bad at all. Would you be picking any of these up, do you think, in the future? Any of these?
I could really see myself picking up that Funhouse robot for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that would make sense, wouldn't it, with O-Ring? Like that would make sense as a figure that might not necessarily need a lot of articulation, but could look fun because it's supposed to be a quirky, bonkers little Sunbow thing, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like I don't need some of the stuff like they just did for STCC. That level of detail is just fine for me for what those characters are.
Totes. So the only one that doesn't really kind of bring up any visual thing at the moment, because I this is the thing, they bring out a new wave of figures, and I have to do like a whole rewatch of the entire Sunbow cartoon to see if I can like pick any like things out. And obviously a Joe Pilot with a face mask is one that I'm kind of like interesting. I haven't been able to find anything necessarily, but guaranteed when they do the card thing on the back, there'll be an image from Sunbow that looks just like that. But maybe it's like Ace, but with a helmet on, maybe before they do Ace. What do you think?
I mean, it could be like a non-specific, but I don't think so. Most of the stuff that they've made has been a reference of some kind.
Yeah.
To either a toy or an appearance in the cartoon. And if they're going to do a generic Joe Pilot with a face mask, since that isn't anything that I can think of necessarily as a toy, like it's not like Skydiver, which would indicate to me that it would be probably the Fun School character. So I'm going to guess it's something actually from the cartoon that I just am not placing in my head.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out soon, I guess. Next week, we'll find out. Also, we usually get more than 6, so I imagine there'll be a couple of others in there. Possibly that figure that he talked about with us about Tiger Force that he hasn't revealed yet. There is another Tiger Force figure coming. It's a character that apparently, we'll all be very excited about. I am, because he has told us. But there's a possibility that will be thrown into this mix, I would think. And other than that, there might be maybe one of the Troop Builder, but no, we've got the Joe and the Crimson Guard there. So we've got the Troop Builders effectively for that wave. So maybe there's another figure that we aren't aware of that might be poking its way into this.
It feels like each wave usually comes with a Target exclusive.
Yes.
Maybe that Tiger Force figure, the Target exclusive was Shipwreck. So that other Tiger Force figure is not a Target exclusive, right?
We don't know.
Okay.
So he said it would be in the wave.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would be in a wave, not necessarily this one, but one to come in the future. So it could turn up in this one, or it might be pushed to another one maybe next year. But the way they churn these out, it could be next week, and it could be now. Actually, maybe it's been out this entire time, and we just.
I'm always kind of curious now. I hope Target doesn't stop doing the exclusives, because I did see that at the Target near me, Shipwreck was like a little under $11 on clearance. So where things go on clearance, that's not the best sign, but maybe it's just a sign to them to change the size of the run rather than to not do it.
I feel like all of this reaction stuff does eventually go on sale anyway, and they keep churning it out, and it keeps hitting the stores, and it keeps getting put out there. So I don't know, maybe it is the volume of stuff they're doing is enough, and the fact that it may be cheaper than most things to produce.
That's true.
In the toy kind of world.
Honestly, I would hope that there's still room for some profit at $11. On one of these. That's still, a chunk of money for a figure.
I wonder how the deals are in place. I wonder if you know, once Target had bought it off, acquired it to put in their stores for Super 7, then Super 7 are set, if you know what I mean. Like that's done. Or if there's an element of, you know, selling on in terms of getting money back for it.
And
I don't know how the
that
deal is.
Target just used it as a way of getting people in, you know, foot traffic in the store, like a loss leader kind of thing.
Yeah, totally. Anyway, we got this information tearing into collection next week, coming soon, with obviously I would call it a teaser, but it's a full-on reveal, isn't it, of Buzzer with his chainsaw. This one looks kind of nice, looks fun. Again, like spot on to the animation. Very cool figure. This the thing though with Reaction. It's like they are really great, and I really like them, and they're fun. But I just, you know, when they're so like, what's the word? They're so. What is the word I'm trying to think of? They're restricted in what they can do because they're so, you know, 5-point articulation and everything. So because of that, like, yeah, you could kind of like see it as like an extension of the Palitoy era from my perspective, right? You could just see it as that. But it's difficult when we have these figures in O-ring. We're going to be having Buzzer in classified as well. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this is great and looks awesome, but at the same time, like, I don't think I'm ever going to pick it up.
Yeah, it seems like this is one of the ones that isn't as much what I'm looking for as the really weird stuff.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, even this, if there was like the Fun School deco on it, like the red shirt and Fun School one was available with both black or blonde hair with the red shirt, but
you've got to do it black hair, haven't you?
Yeah, you got to do the black hair.
Black hair, red shirt, and then release it as the Target exclusive, and you sorted, you know?
Yeah, and that would be, I could see a lot of people picking that up because it would be an easy way to have that fun bit of information of G.I. Joe history.
Diana has sent me images of Ace in the intro, of course, with his mask on, talking about the pilot with face mask. There is a possibility that could be the case, Diana. Like I did mention that before, it could be one of those things where they do like a pre-Ace figure, you know, like it's like they did with the Sailors and Shipwreck. It was like you had 9 Sailors to choose from. None of them were Shipwreck, and then Shipwreck came out later, kind of thing. So
it wouldn't surprise me at all if there was a moment in the cartoon where they just used multiple Ace helmets.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It could be Slipstream. So it could be Slipstream with a helmet on, and you can't see his face, and it could be a generic Slipstream or something, you know, like in a pre kind of scenario. Yorktown Joe has asked a question here. I'm not sure about the answer on this one. I have seen people put or utilize the heads on O-ring bodies to make customs, but I think there's a lot of work that goes into ensuring that they like work.
Yeah, I really have never tried myself, just because I'm not buying every figure, so I didn't buy any of them to customize any. But they are the kind of head that is on a post, so maybe they'd be more easily modified in something prior to the 1985 bodies.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. But yeah, maybe it kind of probably depends there, Yorktown Joe, on a lot of factors. But then I would also say there's probably a lot of work involved to get it to actually work and fit. I have seen customs of them. I've seen, is it Boyle and Pop on Twitter? Shout out to Boyle and Pop. I have seen them actually do, you know, like a couple of images of, I'm going to use this head on this figure and see what it looks like. And they did it. So yes, but it probably takes some work to do. RKW says Marmite. Yeah, it is a little bit. Reaction is a little bit Marmite, but I would also suggest, like, you know, you either love it or you hate it, effectively. But what I would also suggest is that you could love it and still really not have the bandwidth to afford it at the same time as well. So it's one of those things where I'm happy it exists, but it's not on my radar in terms of collecting, because it's just, you know, too much on top of everything else. But anyway, awesome stuff. Buzzer is coming, and also more of the other figures. Now, Pat, this is an interesting thing, right? News popped up recently from, it was a rumor, but there was a live stream by Ramen Toy, and on that live stream, it was said that Super7 now hold the ownership of the license and IP for MASK. Now, let's talk about this first as a before we get to how much fun would that be. Let's focus on the structure and the fundamentals here. Now, this could be one of those situations where there's been a misunderstanding. We don't personally know, and there's been no official statement or anything that suggests that Super7 own the MASK IP and license, as opposed to just, what's the word, licensing it, just, having the license given to them by the owner to do figures and stuff based on a contract. Now, there's two different things here, isn't there? There's IP and there's like name, trademark, and then there's license and all that. They're all different things. What do you think here, Pat? Do you think this is probably like a misunderstanding, or do you think that Super7 might hold the MASK license now?
I don't. I wonder how Toy would know that.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at. I think that for the number of licenses that Super7 has, and for the fact that we know that they've worked with Hasbro on several of the brands that Hasbro owns, and MASK is owned by Hasbro, that it's not inconceivable that they do have the license. And I would love it if it is true that they do. But I also don't know how Toy would necessarily know that. So I'm not going to sit and wait and expect Super7 to do something.
Yeah, I think you've got that thing where some of the terms are thrown about like haphazardly, in the same way that we throw around variant and prototype and pre-production and all that kind of stuff. Like, some things just get lumped in with other things, and it could, like you say, I think it's very plausible that Super7 have the rights to the license per Hasbro and an agreement with Hasbro, and like a as you would do with any license that you're doing any products with. I can't necessarily see them owning the whole thing, but if they do, then great. But it's not, that doesn't feel like their MO, does it? It doesn't feel like their MO to do that. And also, if you're owning the whole license, then does that open the door to, rather than do reaction and ultimates and so on and so forth, which they could do, and they could obviously utilize MASK in that way, could they do their own smaller figure line with vehicles? Because having the whole IP and license would mean they'd be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, if they started making smaller figures, I really would love to see more MASK. I mean, I guess we're getting into that part where I just start imagining what could happen with it, and then it becomes fun. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying to withhold any of those thoughts of fun while we're focused on the license. I don't think that they have it. I mean, what sort of license would Hasbro give them? I'm sure that the property hasn't been sold to them by Hasbro. That wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And it's entirely possible that Toy, I think this was a live stream. Maybe he just thought that and said it, and people are taking it to more of an extreme than it needs to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Putting too much weight on it. Maybe he was like, yeah, I think they do. I haven't actually watched exactly what he said in the stream.
Yeah, that's the other thing in it. Yeah. Obviously, they were hit with the cease and they were hit with the cease and desist, weren't they, for doing their own kind of version of Thunderhawk and Matt Tracker. So like I could imagine them having some sort of maybe Super7 were the ones that sent the cease and desist, and because they hold the license to produce the toys.
That's possible.
Maybe that's the case, but like I said, you can have the license as well. But you'd think that would be a Hasbro move. That they would have to be the ones that would intervene rather than the. Like, I wouldn't expect just because you have the license to do a certain product with it doesn't give you the right to send C&Ds out to people. That would surely be the owner's,
right,
prerogative. Anyway,
that's what I would think too.
I know there was an issue with Silverhawks as well, wasn't there? There was an issue between Super 7 Ramen and Silverhawks as well. So, oh my goodness, what an absolute mess it can be. Someone's asked, RKW, why don't I just ask Brian for comment? I will be doing so. I was getting to that. We will be asking him to see if, you know, if that is the case, or if he might be able to, he might not be able to talk about it.
Yeah, he might not be able to say anything. A lot of times people don't understand that whenever it comes to licenses, license agreements can be different from one license agreement to the other.
Yes.
And so you're just kind of really making a lot of guesses whenever you hear so-and-so has the license or the master license. What does that really include?
Yeah.
I mean, toy licenses have definitely changed a lot in the last 10 or 15 years. Like, it used to be that a license would go to one company and then they'd be the ones making everything.
Right. Now you can have the same, you can have this, like, almost like a 6-inch license can go to multiple people.
Yeah. And the Ninja Turtles license just goes to everybody.
That goes to everybody, and they're allowed to make whatever they want in every single format in every single company. So yeah, it's nuts.
Right.
Has any other license been utilized by more companies than the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Answers on a postcard, please. Pat, do you know any more?
No, that license has to be one of those ones that every single license is very specific. And it may even say that they retain the right to hand the license off to somebody else as well.
Yeah.
Make your product good and make it different, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that is pretty much that for the foundation building of what we're about to say next, which is how much fun would this be if it's true? And what would you expect Super 7 if they are going to do? Like, let's just assume that they've got the license to make mask figures. Not that they own it, but they've got the license to. Do you see them venturing outside of Reaction and Ultimates, or do you see them staying in that arena?
Well, the thing about Super 7 stuff is now whenever Super 7 announces a license, the people who are fans of Super 7 are going to have that expectation to get those characters to go in the expressions.
Hey.
I guess use the industry term, the format
what?
That the format that the format that the fans are used to. And it makes sense to me. Like, if you look at the Reaction line, sure, G.I. Joe was an O-ring line, and it would be nice to have O-ring figures. But think about how many different brands fit within that same style. And it was the same thing, years ago with, well, they're still doing it with Mini-Mates. How many different characters can you buy in the Mini-Mates style or in the Lego style?
Yeah.
If Super 7 had this, there would be a market for, and it would make sense to make Reaction figures. And I would say the same thing with Ultimates.
Yeah.
They would need to make those because there would be demand for it, I think.
Do you think this would be one of those lines with Ultimates where they would probably go vehicle route with it because they're so prominent in the kind of in the show and everything? Because obviously you've got precedent with the Thunder Tank and the Party Wagon and stuff, but Mask, it's definitely not as big as the Turtles and probably not as big as Thundercats either. In that saying that, but Thundercats isn't that massive. I would say. I wouldn't say. I would say on the level of like popularity, Mask is probably below Thundercats though in terms of notoriety and
it's because they haven't really rekindled Mask at all.
Yeah,
I think that's part of the fact that they just keep ignoring it.
Yeah,
not only are you not going to get those young fans in, but you're not really making adults like me revisit Mask.
Adults,
right? Adults. That's why I had to specify the asterisk on that was like me.
The age group of me is what you meant to say, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But
you're not making people who would be inclined to buy multiple brands and to revisit multiple things take a look back at Mask. I mean, I've been trying to collect the figures. I actually can't find my Mask vehicles from whenever I was a kid, so it makes me not collect the vehicles right now.
I got mine as a kid, just rubbing it in there for you.
Oh yeah, thanks. Somewhere I put all of them in the Switchblade box.
Oh,
and so
right.
somewhere that box is around my parents' house, and who knows where it went.
Do you want us to do one of those like archaeological digs and take the whole house apart and
Right.
dig up the gun? Found it, Pat. Here it is.
Yeah, I'd love to find it.
Whole house is devastated. It's fine. Just get a hotel.
Obviously don't know what the condition is anymore, and I don't remember if I had broken pieces. I don't think I had. So, but there's occasionally a tab here and there that you don't remember being a little cracked or not as good, or some paint wear. So I wonder what my collection looks like now, but hopefully I'll find it someday. But I have kind of revisited MASK on my own, trying to collect a bunch of the figures.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would still love to have a lot of stuff, like Gloria Baker.
Oh, and Shark.
They made Gloria Baker, but she's not in the color she was in from the cartoon.
Not the same.
So it would be really nice to have a professionally made version 1 Gloria Baker.
What was I going to say? Could you imagine, based on the fact that we've got the Cat's Lair, the Thundercat's Lair, could you imagine Boulder Hill in Ultimates?
Oh, come on.
Wouldn't that be a freaking amazing?
It would be a lot. I could imagine maybe the room where they put the masks on in Ultimates. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people customize Boulder Hill to have other levels, and it does make me want to go buy one.
There is some incredible, just masks, general mask scale customs that I've seen out there, including that giant friggin' plane that Venom have in one of the episodes. Giant friggin' thing. I've seen that done. I've seen the helmet room with the table and everything, like the Knights of the Round Table, but future style with helmet light up and all that kind of jazz. I've seen all of those kind of stuff, and I think it would be wicked. And I think animated Ultimates would be freaking awesome. But there is an element here. I really do think the vehicles are so important to Mask. Like, yes, the characters stand alone and the helmets are cool, and there's a lot of stuff they do, just one-on-one. But, I'm thinking like, Brad Turner's Condor is so important. Gator is so important to Buddy or Dusty. I can't remember which one.
Gator was Dusty Hayes.
Dusty Hayes. Rhino is massively important to Bruce, and it's been a while.
Matt Tracker comes with Rhino.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of the animation where it's Bruce
Alex
and
Sector, I think.
Alex. Yeah, Alec. Yeah. Sorry, Bruce and Alec. It's like really important to them. And yeah, that version of Matt Tracker in the kind of Mask logo mask, that is the one that came with Rhino. Definitely, they're really important to the characters. Switchblade. How can you not have Switchblade? How can you not have Jackhammer? How can you not have Piranha? Like, I mean, the list is endless. These things are so important to the show that as an Ultimates, you'd definitely be able to get like some of the smaller ones done. You'd be able to get Condor, I reckon, Piranha. They would be a really good couple of figures to get like early in the line. But the other ones would probably have to be crowdfunded, wouldn't they? Or like if we get enough pre-orders sort of scenario.
Yeah, I think that it'd be difficult to actually have things that large. And I don't know really if I'm all that up for just collecting the same thing, only in another scale. Those things were so feature heavy.
Yes.
That in order to have all of the features in there, again, it would just be very difficult. And so I think it's tough to make a toy line whenever you have such a high bar for comparison.
I hope they don't use springs again. That's all I'm going to say. Those little springs that like deteriorated over time or rusted, and then the mechanisms like failed and stuff. My Thunderhawk still works though, which is quite impressive. Or it did last time I was at home, which was how many years ago now? Like 4 years ago.
I'm going to pretend mine does too.
Yeah, yours does, mate.
Last time I saw it was just fine.
It's protected in that Switchblade box. Anyway, That is effectively our discussion on that. Obviously, I'll be reaching out to Brian to see, if he can talk about it. If he can, then we'll report on it. But if not,
an underserved property from the 80s, like it's well past time for this.
Totally agree with you, mate. Totally agree. I would genuinely like to see some sort of reissues done of the originals because of the deterioration of some of the the original vehicles and stuff from my childhood. I think it would be great to see some of that stuff again, like a little bit, a bit more spit and polish, maybe a few more little features on the figures. I don't know, whatever you could do with today's technology just to kind of ramp it up a bit, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Sure. I mean, but there are a lot of like you've kind of been pointing out, there's the vehicles are almost their own characters.
Yep.
What about some packs of micro machines?
Oh, mate, have you seen the new micro machine vintage packaging?
Vintage packaging style. Yeah, they're really nice.
I say that like you didn't send me the pictures. Yeah, that's mate. Yeah. Imagine a mask set on vintage packaging.
Yeah, or Hot Wheels sized. Maybe you have the Rhino and maybe just the guns moved down.
Yeah,
or something. You know what I mean? Like they can do a lot with masks.
Hot Wheels, Jada, any of you guys. Give us little mini mask vehicles, please. That'd be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So good. Like you can have Jackhammer just like pop out the top, like just a simple mechanism rather than like the really difficult one. Just pop out the top, like the little seat thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Piranha could come separate, Condors, the little helicopter wings could like flip around and everything. It'd be so dope.
Yeah, there's a lot that could be done with this. And I feel
what
like
am I describing, Pat, there?
Why they don't.
What am I describing from Mars? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, didn't they do Hurricane and Micro Machines? Yes, Gaz, but only because Hurricane was based on an actual vehicle, if you know what I mean. Like there is a deco or like a paint job that I think they utilized from that Hurricane vehicle, didn't they, Pat?
The Hurricane
with the flames.
In Micromasters, wasn't there a recent Micromaster Transformer?
They have done Micromaster Yeah, well, they did, didn't they? They 100% did mask crossover because they said it in the live stream.
Yeah, so there's definitely a love for it there at Hasbro. They just need to allow it to happen. I've said it many times that while G.I. Joe is not real military, it kind of starts with military and then becomes its own thing.
Yeah,
Mask isn't military; it's spies.
Yeah.
So it's not the same thing as G.I. Joe, and Hasbro just needs to let it exist.
Yeah, I think it needs to. I agree with you 100%. Right then, that is Mask. Mask. So let's go on to the next news story, which I believe is classified related. Yes, it is. I just had a look. How about then? Did I cut it out in time?
Yeah, you did it. It was good.
From my perspective, I just cut it really early. It's like halfway through. I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to say that I said make again. Right, there is Wolf Spider images and stuff. So let's talk about Wolf Spider. BWT Toys leaked images of the latest Walmart exclusive G.I. Joe classified Night Force figure, Path Wolf Spider Varma. For a while, we had been under the impression that this was a new internal code word, when in actual fact, it was the name and code name of the new character all along staring us in the face. The name and skin tone hints at an Indian nationality, and the figure is looking rather cool indeed. We were told that the character started life as a generic Night Force troop builder, but they decided he was too cool and needed an actual code name, and here we are. The figure reuses a lot of previous parts, but there are some very interesting and cool new additions like the mask, helmet, and night vision goggles that's attached to the helmet. All very cool. Right, now, Pat, before we get into Wolf Spider, or Spider Wolf, as I really want to call him from now on, because I think that's freaking hilarious. Just a little bit of background. Now, if you watch my news burst was it a couple of days ago, then we've already gone through this, but Return of the Nerd did release some information on a video where he said that Shadow Tracker was coming, and this new character they weren't sure what this was, whether it was an internal code word or anything, but it was Path Wolf Spider Varma. they didn't realize, and I didn't realize, and no, I don't think anyone really noticed that this was the actual name staring us in the face the whole time. Now, we already knew that Wes Tennyson was, so that was the internal code word. Sorry, Pat, I know you hate this. Wes Tennyson was going to be this generic troop builder that they decided to change into an actual G.I. Joe character. So that happened, like we were aware of that, and we were expecting to see something new in the Night Force, yada yada yada. But none of that really locked into my brain when reading this list put together by Classic Toys UK on Twitter. Shout out to Classic Toys UK on Twitter for doing all the heavy lifting on this one. I mean, look at that. It's like all the upcoming figures and all of the kind of like in-hand dates, basically, like import EU, US, and UK. So phenomenal job, Classic Toys UK, on putting that together and making it look really sexy as well, by the way. It's not often you see sexy spreadsheets, is it, Pat?
No, mine all look terrible.
It's so true. Mine looks so bland and crap. And then Classic Toys come along and put fancy graphics in the background and make it look really cool.
Yeah, it looks really good. This is a nice list to go off of.
It's amazing. Anyway, so yeah, so we were also under the impression that Shadow Tracker might be coming with another figure. So we thought, well, could that be a 2-pack? But no, it looks like obviously there are going to be multiple figures for the Walmart Collecticon, just as they always do. And I would expect, because obviously the leaked listings show Wes Milton, which is Shadow Tracker, Wes Tennyson, which is Path Wolf Spider Varma, and Wes Chekhov, which is the redeco of a G.I. Joe figure in the Night Force. So we are guessing that Night Force Shockwave could be that figure based on another leak as well. So it's really about just putting all these leaks together and seeing what sticks. Please Google sexy spreadsheets for us, Chris. No, I'm not going to do that, Brian. That's disgusting. In fact, what would you get if you Googled No, I'm not going to do that.
No, don't. No, not
no,
right
I won't
now.
Naked HD will start flying into the
That's
chat. Right. Pat's going to be like, here you go.
I'll just have to leave if he shows up.
Yeah, you'll have to just, oh, my internet's not working. Naked HD, Naked HD, Naked HD. Yes. So yeah, there we go. So that was that. Now, obviously, we've been waiting a long time for Shadow Tracker, but it looks as though we're going to be getting Shadow Tracker, Pathwolf Spider Varma, and another for the Walmart Collecticon. Now, we don't know when it is yet. It could be that it's before PulseCon. It could be that it's kind of in and around PulseCon, and it could be that it's after PulseCon. In all of those scenarios, I would imagine that PulseCon will be a place where they discuss those figures. If the pre-order is a bit further away, they might not. They might want Walmart to reveal it and do it. But they have shown precedent in live events, haven't they, Pat, where they'll show like exclusive figures before Target and Walmart kind of show them.
Yeah, it's all about the planned information out there, and they're not. I'm sure that they see that this is now leaked, and so whatever they do next will probably include some acknowledgement of that, and maybe just get ahead of any other leaks from the wave. That's what I would expect.
Yeah, definitely. So it looks like it looks like Shadow Tracker, Pathwolf Spider Varma, and another Joe redeco, which we're tentatively putting Night Force Shockwave into that kind of position at the moment. But you never know. It could be a Night Force Outback. It could be a Night Force Falcon, which I know everyone wants, right? No one wants that Falcon again, unless we get some proper new parts on it. But anyway, that's that. And then we get the actual leaked images. Now, this was BWT Toys initially posted the potato images, which looked like some sort of 8-bit, computer game screen. And then we got a few more from Chaz the Guru, who was posting them on behalf of someone who wanted to remain anonymous. So that is the full explanation of these images. Now, here is the box art and everything. What did you think initially, Pat, when you saw the figure? Were you excited? Did you like it? Do you like what they've done here?
You know what? Excitement did hit me right away at the thought of new character, but then I started looking at him, and it's like, you know, a little bit of it wore off as I started looking closer. It's not my favorite. He does remind me a lot of Battle Core Beachhead.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have said that. Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got when the first images came up, because the first images were terrible. It looked to me like it was Night Vulture or Paraviper in terms of deco inspiration. There was that kind of purple in there and everything, and the yellow looked orange. But then, obviously, when we get these images, you can see it's not really the case at all. But looking at the figure, I have to say, I thought it looks freaking amazing with the new helmet and the night vision goggles. I think that's a really nice introduction to the line, and we'll probably see that pop up again with a few other characters that they've got, you know, on the coming in the future, basically.
Yeah, I would. There's a lot of parts reuse. I mean, I guess the issue that I have, and I'm not complaining about parts reuse, but maybe I am. It's not without reason. A lot of times the characterization of the figure is made more by their character specific accessory.
I thought you were going to go there with the Falcon backpack and everything. Yeah.
Well, it's not that backpack reminds me of Falcon. That's not the complaint. It's just that I would like some accessory that gives more character to this guy, because you no longer have the file cards. Like there's just not a lot to go on whenever I look at him. So I think that the gas mask, if that's what that is, that has the most character in it, because to me anyway, because I like the night vision goggles and the helmet and the way that works. It looks like it's going to be a great accessory.
Yeah.
I'm expecting to see it again though.
Yeah, definitely.
So for me, the thing that probably is the most specific to him so far is the gas mask. And I want to read more about him, and especially the fact that it's a Night Force deco. Which is it? Like, because Big Ben's a Night Force deco, and he just kind of fits in Night Force. Night Force doesn't. When did Night Force really have yellow?
I don't recall any yellow being in Night Force, honestly. Trying to think of each figure.
It doesn't really make for a great Night Force deco. And
would you have been happier if it was just a generic troop builder and they'd kept it as rather than a new character?
Not really. I don't think that we need to start getting into a bazillion troop builder GI Joes. I think that as far as the GI Joe team and troop builders go, I like them to be released so that you can have all those background military guys that are helping, that are you know, featured in the cartoon and to some degree in the comic book. But I don't think that they should actually be members of GI Joe, if that makes sense. So
yeah,
to have a GI Joe troop builder over and over again that is specifically called out, it's a little bit weird.
I kind of agree with you in some of those points, though. But I think looking at this figure, I don't have any hang-ups at all. I think it's really cool use of those elements. Like the reuse looks really good. I do like the deco on it. I think it looks kind of interesting and really fun. The new parts stand out to me as something that's very unique and very cool. But what I would say is that, one, how can you have and you'll respond with a number of characters like Beachhead, for example, but how can you have a new character that doesn't have a head, like a head sculpt, like an actual face? Like, right. You know, it'd be nice if we had an actual head sculpt for this guy. Like, this is what they look like. Now, the other thing that kind of makes me very, like, intrigues me a lot here is because this is Night Force, then it hints at the existence of an original deco for this character.
Yes.
So
I'm almost getting there.
I'm super excited to see what they do with this character in a redeco in their standard colors. Like, does that exist?
There's so many
has Lenny
parts used here, I don't think that would happen.
Has Lenny thought about that? Has he thought, like, in the future, like, there's going to be a repaint of this, so let's do a standard deco as well to, like, you know, that's the original?
Yeah, and that's why I kind of wonder, with all this yellow on there, how much of this was adapted from a standard deco just to make it darker to put it into Night Force, which the yellow really is not working for me for Night Force.
No? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
would you have preferred it been like a neon orange color?
No, I mean, I think that Night Force people have a tendency to just go, we'll just make it black and put in some orange. And it's like, that's the vehicles of Night Force. And there was some red, you know, within the action figures, but I'm not looking to mimic the vehicles on the figures. I think the use of like a dark blue and brown and black and, you know, the colors that the Night Force colors of the original figures. That's was my criticism of the Ripcord figure that we got, that it's just, you know, black with green, where I think that it would have been more interesting if he'd had some blue or maybe some brown pants, separate out the shirt from the pants, because that's always interesting on a figure when you have it all one color and then they separate it out for the repaint.
I feel like they painted themselves into a corner. They decoed themselves into a corner with Ripcord by making it effectively the same as Crazy Legs deco. Because then when Crazy Legs comes out, it's like, oh, damn it, we've got two almost identical decos going on. I think that was something that they needed to kind of look at that and go, what can we do to make this different but keep the same theme? And with this one, I think if you were to change the yellow to brown or teal, or like that blue that's on his, you know, his Eye and Joe Pro, I think you'd probably get away with it being a pretty straight on Night Force kind of scenario. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying, dude. I just, when I look at it, I don't seem to have any hang-ups like that. I don't look at it and go, this needs a lot more, it needs this or it needs that. I kind of, you know, I take it for what it is, like, you know, part of a, you know, like lots of new tooling and then lots of reuse. It just feels like that has to kind of come with the territory, and they're probably effectively kit bashing something to save on costs in a lot of different areas. So I kind of understand it, but I look at it and I think, man, it looks dope. I just think it looks really cool. I like the charcoal gray.
It isn't a bad looking figure, don't get me wrong. I just don't know where it fits in. Like, it definitely needs some characterization.
Yeah. That, I think that's something
I'm really not sold on the Night Force aspect of it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, he also comes with a little bit of rope there as well, which is nice. I wonder how long that rope is. It can't be that long, can it? But it's probably enough to do like a little display on a shelf kind of thing.
Yeah, I would think that it's probably shelf length.
Yeah,
kind of rope. Yep.
So that's cool. I don't know. I think this again would have been a great opportunity to tie in with, say, the Dragonfly, and have a mechanism that, you know, like, you know, you used to get like zip lines, and we used to get like, you know, backpacks with ropes in them and stuff like that, like hit and run and stuff, like, you know, really intricate level things with a 4-inch line. At this level, it would be great if they'd incorporated some really awesome like rope distribution system or something that clipped onto something, right? That then had a wind-up mechanism that pulled the rope in and out. Like, how cool would that have been?
Yeah, it doesn't have a grappling hook or anything, does it?
No, there's no grappling hook.
There's
just like
a little bit of string in there with the figure.
Yeah, like carabiner, something like that would have been neat. Like hooking through, like you know how Hit and Run has the loop that it hooks through and stuff like that. You know, things like that. I think that would be really awesome. But also, I can see what they're doing in terms of, you know, the kind of cost cutting to get another figure in the line, etc., etc. I get that, but I don't know. I found it very visually appealing, and I think it looks kind of cool. But there's a couple of things I did agree with you on, though. especially the fact, you know, using Falcon's backpack is like, I don't look at that. Well, I know you didn't say this, but I know that like that backpack doesn't like scream Falcon to you, but I don't think it screams this character either. I think again, if they'd have done a backpack that a new thing that incorporated, like I said, the rope, and that was what clips to the you know, like the lip of a shelf or something, and he just hangs from it.
Yeah.
That would be super amazing. Like something like that would be really cool. So yeah, and again, I know that that's a lot more, you know, design's got to go into that, and a lot more engineering has got to go into that. But I don't know. I think you could do it very basically. Like it doesn't have to be like, you know, electronic or anything, but just something with like a little kind of feature would have been really fun for a figure like this. Yeah. Anyway, and I'm totally looking forward to seeing what this figure looks like, actually physically looks like, and that standard deco. What could that be? That would be really interesting, I think, to see. What would you think this character would be in terms of a standard deco? Got to be different.
I can't even imagine. I mean, because there's so many times where it's just a wildly different color from the standard to the Night Force or whatever it may be. And like I said, it could just be that they, you know, subdued some of the colors in order to put it in Night Force. That maybe it already had this yellow on there. Although I think you have a picture of it, the box. It almost makes me wonder if that yellow is meant to be a little orangey.
Well, that's what the initial images look like. Yeah, like maybe it is to subtly subdue the orange, or actually maybe it's just the Night Force logo.
Right, but the Night Force, yeah, it might be. That might be what he's trying to match. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be what it is. Didn't even think of that. But yeah, maybe that is the case on that particular yellow inclusion.
Yeah. He looks very blue on the image, also on the package. And as some people pointed out, it's a different build with the legs.
Yeah, the legs went from something to scrap iron, didn't they? They went from like, was that like Recondo to scrap iron, I want to say?
I don't remember. Somebody has already said, but
it went from someone to scrap iron anyway in the legs department. And we know that I think the torso's dusty, the secondary is beachhead, the arms are scrap iron as well, I want to say. The head is Kamakura, the head and neck is Kamakura. And then obviously you've got the new helmet, new goggles, new mask, and effectively Falcon's accessories. And then a pistol that I think is used from a lot of figures. Mr. Cheeseburger says, he looks amazing. When does it come out? I need like 3 to 4 of these guys. We don't know yet, Mr. Cheeseburger, but effectively it will probably be a Walmart Collecticon, the fall one. We don't know when it's going to be, but it's probably going to be in and around PulseCon is what our guesses are on that one. So that might give you an idea. Okay. Grant says, I'd be cool if Path of Armor was the gateway character into homages, Indian exclusive Joe characters and repaints like Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes, Canary Ann, Red Knock, Major Blood, etc. I think Pat would also be down for some Fun School decos.
Yeah, for sure. I would like some Fun School stuff, and that would be a cool way of incorporating Indian characters for sure.
Definitely. Rope, what was the other thing on this? Is there another thing on this, or is that it?
You have the back of the package.
And the back of the got the
yeah.
This was sorry. I should have clicked on this when you were talking about the difference between the classic McLeod. Yes, this is the comparison of the two, basically the box art and the figure. You can see it kind of is very different in terms of the color. I think they've probably kind of, you know, changed a lot of the color on the card in order for it to stand out against the background, because, you know, if it's that color, it probably just disappears on the card, and so they've probably like done the Snake Eyes animation trick of making that dark color a little bit blue, a little bit more purple.
Yeah, it could just be that the lights were a little blue, but I would imagine that they played a little bit with it in Photoshop. This is also, though, the picture where I was comparing.
Comparing is the word, Pat.
The Night Force logo to the yellow on his vest.
Yeah.
In this picture, they look exactly the same.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's probably what it's about. Honestly, I think it's probably no more. I think we're overthinking it, but yeah, I think it's probably the Night Force element on that. He's Walmart exclusive, 19 JJs. He's a Walmart Night Force exclusive, but will obviously be up on Hasbro Pulse as well for a short period of time, I imagine. And then the back of the package, which is still a potato image, unfortunately, and that really does look like Beachhead version 3, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. That's really what he reminds me of still.
Amazing. Anyway, that is it for all of the news. We do have a normal video to play now that I don't have to kind of keep, messing around with, because now we're into shout outs. I think, Pat, are we into shout outs, or have I?
We are into shout outs now.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, you gave me a look there that suggested I'd forgotten something major. So we'll move on. Anyway, let's get into the shout-outs.
Have you tried Hoarder yet? No? Well, you need to. If you have a collection of things and want to create a fun and easy way of organising it and of course showing it off, then get involved. You can post items and build collections, and you can drop a status like getting a fun delivery or seeing some awesome related stuff on your travels. Build your collections with Hoarder. The app is free to download on Google Play and the App Store, so what are you waiting for? Get to hoarding.
Do you want to start off then, buddy, with your shout-outs?
Shout out to Philip. We should have a new episode up shortly a new talking point up shortly for articulated points.
I'll be sharing that.
Awesome, thank you.
I won't watch it because I don't want to give you the views. But what's it about?
I'm not sure. Philip's handling it.
Oh, brilliant!
I don't want to say for sure.
Okay.
I mean, I know what he's working on, but there's always a possibility that you change directions a bit before it's out. Fair
enough. I'm all excited though. You'll have to tell me afterwards when we finished. Brilliant. I'm excited for that. I do love a good talking point, and I do love a good articulated points episode. Well done on armor, by the way. That was a cracking little segment you guys had.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we covered the Crimson Guard Immortal around the world.
Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how little that subset of character, I should say, has been visited.
But it does have one of the most interesting versions that came in the UK with that Rock Viper helmet, man.
Yeah, that's just a really weird one. I still don't quite understand how that thing came to be.
With the missing peg as well.
Yeah.
And there's so many interesting aspects to that and why that is a thing and exists. So, yeah, maybe it was a Friday afternoon special, like in the classic Palitoy style of things, where it's just like, just chuck that on there. That'll do. Away we go.
Get it done.
Yeah, just get it done. Yes, Mark's just said, shout out to Articulated Point Crimson Guard on armor. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mike, it was good. Really enjoyed that. Return of the Nerd just dropped a video that they got Path Varmint in, but they only had 20 and they're sold out already, says Apartment Toys. Yeah, he said that they were getting those in on that other video, didn't he? And he said he was only getting a few in, or that amount in. Yeah, if you are trying to get hold of that one, then that might be on import, then it might be a bit difficult if it's going as fast as it is. I think that's just that feels like it's the newness of a figure that everyone just wants to clamor towards it while it's new and fresh. Yeah. When does Pat get a flying drone named after him?
There's as I've said before, the name Patrick Stewart doesn't identify any known living person. It's not gonna ever work.
Pat drone would be cool though, wouldn't it? A Pat. What did we say? Someone did a really good acronym in one of the episodes for your name. I think it was Patrick, and they did an acronym for it. It was wicked.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was though.
I feel really bad for forgetting that. Anyway, yeah, shout out to Phil. Hope you're having a good weekend, my good sir. And yeah, I'm excited to see your talking point. Is it Disney based or is it on the action figure line?
I think that he's focused more on action figures this time.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, I'm excited. That was it. RKW, that was it. Portable automatic toilet.
What?
Pat.
I don't think that was it. I don't think it was.
I want it to be that. That's brilliant. Like a G.I. Joe Portaloo.
I don't know what's automatic about the toilet, unless it's
Flushing.
itself.
Automatic flush. You stand up, it flushes. You don't even have to press anything.
Okay. Yeah.
It detects your butthole, and then when your butthole is no longer detected, it just flushes. It detects buttholes or wieners or other things. That's what it does. It just detects. Anyway, this is what I'm thinking for a classified 6-inch Portaloo. Anyway, I think that'd be wicked. And Pat is that's a great name for it, is it not?
No, that's not for a portable toilet. No.
It's perfect. Anyway, shout out to the fam, UK and US based. I'll be seeing the UK fam on the 5th of September and until the 19th when I have to fly back. So I'm really excited to do that. It's been how many years, Pat, since I've been away? Almost 4? When was...
I don't know. I have no concept of time.
It's been almost 4 years. Holy pants. Anyway, yeah, I'll be out there living it up with the folks and all my friends. Cannot wait. Missed everyone terribly. Portable articulated trousers, says Captain K. That's a good one.
Just makes me think of Wallace and Gromit.
The wrong trousers, Gromit. Yeah, definitely. Cracking toes, Gromit. Anyway, Mark wants Lightfoot's drone to be called Pat. That would really rub it in, wouldn't it? On
Oh yeah, that would.
On the next level. Oh wow. The rabbit Pat hole. Indeed, Jeffrey. Indeed. Yeah, so shout out to the fam. Shout out to Kate and Phoebes as well, and everyone in the US and the UK. Miss you guys terribly. Can't wait to see you all. To shout out to Brian Sauer as well for our wonderful graphics and also a very awesome armor. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out on their YouTube channel. It was really awesome. And it's got some cracking content on there, especially with our very own Pat and Phil, who did an amazing Articulated Points episode, as we said before. So that's awesome. Also, disassembly required or assembly required, but you know that's just a marketing ploy they're going with here. November 3rd and 4th at Hy-Vee Hall, downtown Des Moines, Iowa convention, whatever. It's a G.I. Joe convention. You know what it is. I guess tickets will be going up soon and all that kind of stuff. So keep an eye on all the socials for any updates. Where as soon as that information drops, we'll be sharing it, of course, as well. So keep an eye out for that. It's a great show and it's definitely worth going to. One of my favorites of all time shows as well. It's just awesome. Pat, do you agree with me on that one?
Yeah, I think that one of the things about the show is if you look at the style that he has just in this picture, you get the feeling of that throughout the whole show. Like the way that he decorates and he puts up signage for it, you really get the feeling that you are at that theme.
Oh yeah,
he really themes the show very well.
It's always the level of effort that goes into all of the decoration and all of the print work and all of the merchandise and it's so, like, you can tell it's coming from a place of passion and love is basically what's happening here. And like last year's was amazing. It's the first con I'd been to in about 3 years. And it was like, you know, the banners, he had these really heavy duty, gorgeous banners of all of the OG 13 lineup. Just like, it was just brilliant. Like, but again, done in a really awesome graphic design kind of way, like with a really nice twist on it. Yeah, it's next level. Michael says, patrol armored treaded recon intercept command night drone. That's amazing, Michael. That took a lot of work, that one, didn't it? Because that's brilliant. That's it, Pat. Are you happy with that now?
That one works, yeah.
Just because it's not a toilet, you blooming snob. Amazing. And yeah, so disassembly required. Make sure you check it out. That's it for all the shout outs. I think that was everything. Yeah. One thing I missed out, I was going to put in the wonderful sculpt work that Fred showed off of low light that he posted in the week on Instagram. Again, you can go check out our Facebook page for those images. They are gorgeous, and you can really see the detail he's got into on the hat texture and the folds and it's phenomenal. Anyway, that's it. Thanks to all of you guys in the comments and all of our awesome patrons. Thanks for all the support. We really appreciate it. I did an Intel Q&A this morning before we went live. So shout out to our patrons and shout out to you getting up really early to watch that. Appreciate it. Hope you all have a great weekend. Pat, I hope you do too, mate.
Thank you. I hope you do too.
I just thought it was going to be quiet there for the whole time. And I like the fact that you did good recovery there by asking me or telling me to have a good weekend as well.
Yeah, have a good weekend. The rest of it, anyway. It's already this is the good part of the weekend. It's all downhill from here. That's true, isn't it? Because it's before you know it, it's Sunday, and you got to get all your homework done for Monday. Yeah. Anyway, it's been a pleasure, everyone. Thanks very much for all the comments and everything. You know what to do. You always have to stay fresh cheese bags. We'll be back next week, and hopefully my mic cable will be fixed, and and we'll get some videos in there to break up a little bit. What do you think, Pat? Did you miss the videos? Well, kind of, yeah. And yeah, I don't know why you didn't just use the mic that you're using now. Like, just have it be not as good quality of audio. I think that's the thing in it. I either want to go like full force, or I just want to half completely just not do it. We almost cancelled this episode because I was so peed off about it. No, we didn't. It's all good. Anyway, see you on the next one. We've got the monthly drop-in as well that Pat was involved with. Stay fresh cheese bags. And as always, after 3, 1, 2, 3, full force. And we can actually look at the outro video now in full rather than just me stopping it every 5 seconds.
Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/TheFullForce, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/TheFullForce podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.